Welcome to our podcast on navigating chaos with AncientFuture.Today and the Grand Council.
We welcome you very much to this particular sharing about explaining and how that helps you to navigate chaos and how it may be a detriment in navigating chaos as well. So really, let's just look at explaining and how that impacts your efficacy and your experience and experiences of navigating chaos. So one of the things that we are noticing about humanity these days, as you clearly must be if you are at least awake and paying some attention, is that everybody has an explanation for what is going on. Whether you are listening to religious opinions and as if they are fact, delivered as if they are fact, if you are listening to academic treatises on these sorts of things, metaphysical treatises on these sort of things, channeled information, or politicians explaining how things are going, the media parroting whatever it is that their owners and minders expect them to say, hospitals giving their opinions on this, that, or the other, and medical personnel both on all sides and every which way and loose sides of the COVID issue on your planet. That are everyone explaining something in the ways that they are doing their best to make sense out of chaos. And so we would invite you for just a moment to imagine a world wherein you, everyone you know, and everyone with whom you have contact, whether it is in person or virtually, or you hear about it, or it filters down to you in the news or through some other avenue, if everyone were to agree to stop explaining the chaos, and all of you were to get to the point in your psyches and in your hearts and guts and minds that you could be comfortable with no explanation of what all of this is, where you would imagine yourself sitting somewhere that you feel safe and just allowing what is to be what is. Now, that for 90% of humans would be next to, if not impossible. For the other 10 or less percent of humanity, it would be something that you could do for a while before you got really nervous or disoriented or agitated or feeling very unsafe, even though you are physically safe. And then there would be an even smaller percentage of people who would say, well, yes, that's actually the way that chaos works. There is no explanation for it. And so to give it an explanation actually is adding to the chaos, is it not? It's adding to the confusion or to the possibilities or to the energetics of action without purpose other than to soothe the savage soul of those of us who are uncomfortable with the great unknown, and an even fewer number of humans who are fine in the chaos, who need not explain it, nor have it explained, nor to seek an explanation of chaos. And so who do you think is navigating chaos most comfortably in this scenario we have just painted for you? Well, we don't know because we haven't talked to those people who are doing this, that, or the other. We can tell you, though, from our perspective, which is a bit like watching a baseball game from across the fence. You're not really part of what's going on, and yet you can see everything that's going on, hear everything that's going on. And for us, we can read your energies, and we can read the metaphysical and physical grids of energy on your planet and with each individual and nation. And we can assure you that most people are not at peace right now in the great unknown. Most people are frantic or depressed or confused or creating things as if they are chickens with their heads cut off because they at some place, sometime in their lives heard that there is something called an apocalypse or the end of times or the great reset or the this or the that they are sure is occurring now. And if they have not lived as much as they wish to live prior to now, or they have not passed on their knowledge, they are quickly writing books or articles or speaking online to hundreds, if not thousands of people, putting webinars together, this, that, and the other. They are insisting that their children listen to what they have to say and remember grandma and grandpa and going through all the family photo albums and getting them organized. And there is such a frenzy of activity on your planet right now in preparation for change. And whilst that impulse is a correct one in terms of what we can see for your planet, because out of this chaos will come new order and will come new ways of living and new ways of relating and new ways of thinking and being and doing and having. The activities that we perceive many, many people doing are just to keep them away from the explanations that they feel are not satisfactory for the chaos or for how to navigate it. So they are activating themselves to pretend to the best of their abilities. And we are not criticizing. Do not hear us doing this. We are just telling you what we are observing, that there is a lot of seemingly meaningless activity going on your planet right now. There are many, many, many people who believe the narrative that the world is ending as you know it. Well, it already has, so you can just forget that. It happened and it's a non-event. What did happen, though, is that so many of you have lost the lives that you thought were real for you. You have either been shut out of family units because you have made decisions about vaccination that are different than theirs, and they are punishing you for being the outlier. Or you have been shut out of your lives because you got caught somewhere other than in your home country or your home state or home or whatever. And you are either on the run from forest fires that are part of this chaos, or you are on the run from financial difficulties because you have lost your home and your livelihood, or you are on the run from this, that, or the other, or you wish you could be on the run from the tedium of your daily lives. And so you are filling your daily lives with activity, some of you in hope that this too will pass, this sort of chaos will pass. And so you are charting your courses through what you think you can navigate, hoping that whoever it is that is putting all of these constraints on you will have had enough, as well as you having had enough, as well as others having had enough by 6 to 12 to 18 to 24 months into future. And so you are laying plans for your next great travel or your next great novel or your next great whatever. And for those of you that are living hand to mouth, you are looking toward the time when you will no longer need to do that. And you are more likely to be less busy than those who have an ample resource base that allows them to be busy with things that do not require them to feed themselves in the same way that your activities may require you to do. And on the same order, the more people have, the more they work hard to preserve what they have. And so in some cases, those of you that have lost whatever it is that was important to you prior to the chaos becoming so evident are in somewhat of a better position than those who are fearing that they will lose it if the chaos continues further. So you see there are, on no matter which neighborhood you are in, which nation, which place on the planet you are in, Unless you have been living in community collectively and cooperatively already for a long time, and you have gardens and forests and or jungles and or water sources and all the things that a lot of what are called preppers in the United States who are preparing for 3 years, excuse us, we were going to say 3 months, 3 years of strife and perhaps civil war and all the other things that many, many people in the United States are gearing up to survive and to participate in the ways that they survive, even if others do not. Unless you have been living cooperatively and collectively, there will come a time when whatever the chaos is that is a breaking point for you emotionally, mentally, metaphysically, spiritually, and all the other ways that it could be relationally, the chaos itself will be an instructor for you on how important all of the frenzy that you are undergoing right now has been. And some of you will emerge out of the chaos period of time well-fed and healthy and bright-eyed and happy because you have been with people that you love and you have eaten at least once a day and you have had reading materials and you have been able to breathe the air and on and on. And others of you will not emerge quite so happily because you will have felt that you had been tamped down and that you had been held down by something that you couldn't even name and you couldn't even point a finger at, and you certainly could not touch. And then there will be others of you who are comfortable with whatever occurs. And so you will not be creating frenetically or frantically to keep yourselves busy. You will understand that the chaos is navigable however any and all of you choose to do it. And so, thank goodness, not everybody is working at 150% capacity. Not everybody is giving up and getting depressed and suiciding and overdosing and having psychic and other kinds of mental breakdowns, et cetera, et cetera. Many are doing that because they cannot see, they cannot feel the end time to the chaos. And there is a reason for this. Let us explain it to you. And that is that chaos has its own life cycle. And however long this chaos lasts, those of you who embrace it as opportunity rather than an imposition or rather than something other than what it really is, which is just chaos, and chaos that gives rise to new creation, that gives rise to new ways of thinking and being and having. And those of you who are planning and putting your energies into place so that when it is time, there is more and there are more people engaged in creating paradise again for everyone and thing in, on, and around your planet, then you will find purpose for whatever activity, whatever thought process, whatever collaboration, whatever peacemaking, lovemaking, all the things that you could be doing and being and making through this period of time without the frenzy. Then you will be in a position to bring chaos to another level. And the explanations then will be quite different than they are now. And it will be our pleasure to be with you at that point, as it is now. So if you find yourself seeking and promulgating explanations that you are not 100% sure are true, perhaps when you deliver them, you can say, best guess, here's my best explanation. Here's the explanation that I have translated from this, that, or the other sacred texts, or whatever it may be. And oh, by the way, this is just one man's, one woman's, one culture's, one paradigm's explanation. And there are endless of these available in times of chaos. So find the explanations, if you need one, that make you feel healthy, wealthy, and wise. and move along the best you can. For indeed, all of you are purposefully on the planet to engage in, experience, and participate in, contribute to this move through chaos together on your planet. And until we have the pleasure and the honor, we leave you with these short and perhaps very obtuse explanations to ponder. And for now, adieu.
Thank you for listening to another episode of Navigating Chaos, podcasts with the Grand Council.